crisis, which we reported on earlier, has hit property prices in Spain. That has cast dark clouds over a life in the sun enjoyed by thousands of British expats. Many of those ready to head home cannot sell their homes. Europe editor James Mates reports from the Costa del Sol on the economic pain in Spain.
The attractions are obvious. The desire for one's own place in the sun, completely understandable. But in southern Spain, many of those who fled the rat race or went in search of a warm retirement suddenly find there's no way home. Putting one's life savings into a beachside property seemed such a good idea when the market was booming. But what if in the middle of a spectacular property crash, you can't sell and get home?
Really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it, but I do really want to go back now.
For 18 months, Jim and Kath Barron have been trying to get back to friends and grandchildren, but even slashing the prices attracted no buyers.
It was $595, and they wanted us to go to $495 when everybody had told us $595, and I thought, no. Now, with $395.
Empty property is everywhere, some finished but unsold, some only half built and abandoned by bankrupt developers.
The property next door, empty, don't know who owns it. Property next door, because I also own it. Half of the properties along here, empty.
For Ian Phillips, living without neighbours means gardens overgrown with weeds, the shared pool half empty and green with algae. Even trying to sell would be hopeless.
Far too much property here that's on the market, and that's never, in my view, ever going to be sold. Not for 10, 20 years.
It's a brutal example of the laws of supply and demand. So many properties have been repossessed by the banks themselves are in trouble and are dumping them on the market and taking what they can get. As for demand, well, in times as uncertain as these, few want to take the risk.
Some invested in a lot more than just a house. Many of the estimated 1 million Britons living in Spain, like Reza Chagani, have built businesses here serving the expat community. He'd get out if he could.
It's very difficult to sell, an impossibility to sell without leaving masses of debt behind. And so, if I could, even at a loss, move away today, then I would.
On the beachfront of Fuengirola, opposite just a few of the area's unsold apartments, stands a rusting and slightly faded monument to the peseta. The switch to the euro was meant to bring great wealth. It turned out it wasn't quite that easy. James Mates, ITV News, on the Costa del Sol.
Hopes of a boost to the